sorry, unfortunately, you couldn't pass the driver's test today. I just thank God that I did not hit anybody's car or even have an accident on the road. Hello, guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to be talking about my Australian driver's test and how it went. The long story short is that I actually failed my driver's test, and it was so unfortunate, but I've really learned a lot, and I hope to do better when I go for the next test. So, how it all began. You know that when you come to Australia, you are going to stay for maybe a longer time, over 6 months or up to 1 year, then you have to get the Australian driver's license if you actually intend to drive in Australia. So there are some countries that are exempt from doing a practical driving test, like US, Canada, South Korea, even my friend from South Africa. Like I have friends from South Africa and Korea and some of these US. They just went to the Department of Roads and Transports and they got the Australian driver's license. They didn't have to do a new driver's test. But my driver's license was actually Nigerian. So when I went there, they said, okay, I before I'm even qualified to go for the driver's test, I have to do some exams, do some tests. I have to pass what they call the Prep L. So the Prep L is it's an advanced simulator. There are quizzes, there are tests they give you. They simulate an environment where maybe you are driving in the car. It's very, very advanced. It's very nice. So they will present a scenario of maybe something that can possibly happen. Let's say you are driving in the simulator and then there is a pedestrian trying to cross. So they will ask you what you are going to do in that kind of situation. So the Prep L is really detailed and basically it's what uh, people who are still learning how to drive, that's what they use to gauge them or to score them to know how they are performing. So that was where I started my journey. So after the Prep L, at some point you will be asked to score like 27 over 30. I mean, in the final Prep L test or exam, you will be asked to score like 27 over 30. I did the first test, I scored like 26 over 30. So I had my cool off period. After the cool off period, I was asked to do another test. I did, and I now scored like 27 over 30. So that now made me eligible to go to the next stage, which is paying for the practical driving test. Then after paying for the practical driving test, I now had to go to the driving test. So on the day, it was actually a Monday. I remember it very, very well. So I went there. I booked it to be around 1:55 p.m. I mean, everything was just smooth. They told me where to wait, and then after a few minutes, the instructor came out, or should I say the guide or the person that will score me, the examiner. So he came out. He checked my car. He checked the lights. He checked everything, and he was like, okay, okay, we can move. So he was like, okay, he had his books, his score sheets, everything. Then he was like, anything he tells me to do, I should do it, and then he will be able to grade and score. But I shouldn't worry about it whenever he's writing something on his book. It doesn't necessarily mean he's failing me, so I shouldn't worry about that. So okay, no problem. So we started. He was giving me instructions: do this, turn right, turn left, turn right, to move forward. So I kept doing these things, doing these things, doing these things, and then I noticed I think one of the first places I started having problem was when he asked me to reverse. And I like there was a car coming behind me, and when I was reversing, like I didn't really I was supposed to stop for that car to pass. Although the car was in its own lane, I was actually supposed to stop, but I didn't stop. So because I felt since the car was in its own lane, it seen me. So I didn't know that was an issue. So he was like, okay, this is a problem here. So but let's still continue. So I think there is something that once you do it, it's critical. You just fell outrightly. But there are some things that when you do, they can manage and say, okay, let's just give it a try. Let's keep going. So maybe that one was part of the let's keep going mistakes I made. So we kept going. And then he didn't really complain, but I know he wasn't comfortable with the way I was switching lanes. These are things that I actually know how to do very well, but being in that exam condition, I wasn't really, because when you are to switch lanes, you're supposed to look over your shoulder, then look at the mirror. So sometimes when he asked me to switch lanes, I wouldn't look over my shoulder. I would just look at the mirror. And he was observing that, and I think I noticed that was because I was looking at him with my side eye, you know. So, so the straw that broke the camel's back was when we kept driving around. The way we were driving around was so hilly, like, you know, you drive it like it's a hilly place. You drive and then you come down, you drive. It comes out. It was just affecting, and all the roads have speed limit. You can't exceed the speed limit, and that's the point I'm coming to now. So the straw that broke the camel's back, because most of the roads here in Australia, the speed limit is actually 60 kilometers per hour. So I did not know that this road limit for the road we were on was 50 kilometers. So I was just assuming that, yeah, every road is 60 kilometers. So I was gauging my speedometer 60 kilometers. He asked me to go someplace. I was like, okay, let me just go. I started going 60 kilometers and maybe around 61, 62 kilometers. Immediately he saw that, he was like, no, 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 no. That I am going 60 kilometer on a 50-kilometer road. That's above 10 kilometers. I now looked, I saw 50 kilometers on there. I was like, oh my God. And I knew that was like, once you go above the speed limit, it's over. Because here, they actually give people fines for overspeeding. It's a serious problem. It's a very, even in the prep L, they showed us, they told us, they kept telling us it's cause of accident, the leading cause of accident. Overspeeding is bad. Overspeeding will cause this. You pose dangers to other users of the road. It's a big problem. So immediately he said that, I was like, I was just like, oh yeah, now it's better. Maybe let's just go home. And that was actually what he did. He was like, okay, let's drive back. Let's drive back. So I already knew the result before. Uh, Getting to the place. Though I wasn't really happy because I felt I should pass that, you know. Yeah, I've been driving for a while, so I felt I should pass that. So we went to the place. He just called me up and then he was like, sorry, unfortunately, you couldn't pass the driver's test today. You did this, you did this, you did this, some of these things I mentioned now. And then they gave me a full report of the mistakes I made. They said, okay, you are welcome to reapply, but for now, I'm sorry, you failed. Man, when he said that, I actually knew, I saw it coming. I saw it coming. I knew I was gonna fail because of the things that happened. So, but I took it like a big boy. It's normal, you know. She just fell, and then there is always an opportunity to try again. So it just happened that I failed that, but I don't think I should have failed. Maybe because I was under pressure a little bit. No, not necessarily under pressure. You know, when you are under this examination mood, or when you are like, someone is watching you, someone is trying to gauge you. Sometimes you start forgetting things. The mistakes I made there, they were really crazy. How can you switch lanes without looking over your shoulder? There is a blind spot. If you miss a car there, you're gonna crash that car. It's a very terrible mistake. I shouldn't have done that, you know. But it's happened, and then yeah, I failed. So I'm going to be giving it a trial sometime again. And I really hope to still come back to this channel and tell you guys that, oh, hey guys, look, I actually passed this driver's test. So yeah, that's the story of my driver's test journey. And for those of you who are coming from Nigeria, I'm telling you, you're also going to meet the same situation, because I chat with my friends who came from Nigeria, and they are like, everyone has different experiences. Some people passed just one way, like they didn't have to do two times. They just went for the first one and they passed. Others, they failed because there are lots of rules. When there's something we call the 3 point turn, I didn't even get to that point. 3 point turn, once you hit the curb or you climb over the curb, that's all, you failed. There are so many things. There's so many things you have to know, or maybe you forget to put your seatbelt. That one, you are even. It's like you don't want to drive at all in Australia. So I'm just saying this for those who are coming from Nigeria. First of all, learn how to drive in Nigeria. Get your driver's license, because it actually makes it easier for you to transfer that overseas driver's license to the Australian driver's license. Because if you have to start here as a learner, man, I don't even need to tell you the money is gonna take, the time is gonna take, and also the rigor. It's not easy. It's not easy, because now you will do everything basic. You have to show your logbook. There's a logbook. You have to be showing the things you've been doing, your progress. See, it's better you learn how to drive in wherever you're coming from. Get the light. If you're coming from all these advanced countries like South Korea, as I mentioned, maybe South Africa, even South Africa, they don't need to do this driver's test again. Just show that, yeah, I got this from South Africa. Then you'll be given the Australian one. No need. But if you're coming from Nigeria, you will do it. You'll face what I'm facing now. So that's what I'm telling you, to get ready, to get your driver's license. Learn how to drive, please. Learn how to drive. It's important. You learn how to drive. Get your driver's license. Then when you come over, maybe you will have the same experience I had, or maybe you even pass in the first instance. Who knows? So yeah, that's actually a funny story, but I decided to share it with you guys. And I hope you enjoyed it. So please, if you did, like this video, comment, and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much guys for watching, and I hope to see you guys next week. Goodbye.